All right, Tom, we got some news on Thursday morning. The Celtics have been sold officially. Wyc Grousbeck and the Grousbeck family have sold the Celtics to William Chisholm, who is a Boston native, according to Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe, who first reported the news. Himmelsbach said that Chisholm intends to buy a home in Boston. He watches every Celtics game. He's a hardcore fan. He has an encyclopedic knowledge of the team. So I'd say for Celtics fans, that's probably a good thing that it's going to a guy like the Grousbeck family that is true to Massachusetts, true to the Celtics, because that's what made Wyc such an amazing owner over the last, two decades. He's invested in this team. It has been number one on his list of financial reward. It's not like a lot of other owners where they have a bunch of businesses across the world. So that seems to be a good thing for Boston, but $6.1 billion, that number came in a little bit lower than I think the Grousbecks were expecting. I think they were looking for over $7 billion, maybe $7.5 billion, but they don't own the arena. The Bruins own the arena. And plus the ownership actually starts in 3 years. So the Celtics at that point will be in a dramatically different position than they are today. They're not getting the team today. It's not happening for a number of years from now. But what are your initial thoughts on the sale?
Why did it take so long? It was very quiet for a while, and then it accelerated really quickly. It seemed like the Las Vegas expansion and Seattle expansion, it needed kind of the Boston sale to kick things into gear. But even that, it feels like the dominoes have been falling. Like first it was the media deal. That's why we haven't expanded. And now it's the Boston sale. That's why we haven't expanded. And we're still like waiting to hear about that next domino of expansion. And maybe it's a matter of like the owners needed to see what that expansion fee would look like once we saw the price of the Boston Celtics come in at $6.1 billion. How far do you think our bid went, Kevin, you and I, when we put our bid in for the Boston Celtics? Do you think they seriously concered it? Because I feel like we didn't put in enough money. I don't have $3 billion. I don't know if you have $3 billion, but we made a good effort.
About $6.1 billion off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for Wyc and his family, they sell the team for the highest value of any American sports franchise ever, exceeding the Washington Commanders at $6.05 billion. So they can at least say that. But I do think they were expecting that total to be a little bit higher. But it is an interesting deal, though, because, for Chisholm, you do have to wait to officially become the owner. And at that point, it's going to be near the end of Tatum and Brown's deal. The team at that point could be incredibly expensive, which may have also played a factor here with luxury tax penalties, second apron penalties coming in for the Celtics if they want to keep this whole team together. So a lot of factors that are going to change the way this team is going to look, which is why I think it may have been a little bit closer to $6 billion rather than $7 billion for Boston. But ultimately, though, for Chisholm, just do what Wyc did over the last 20 years, who has hired the right people, hiring Danny Ainge to run the front office, trusting them to make the right decisions. Wyc also chose Brad Stevens to run the franchise after Danny Ainge left, and he's continued to empower his front offices to make the smart basketball decisions and just continuing to sign checks and letting them to make daring moves. To me, that's what new owners are going to have to do. You can't meddle in everything like Ishbia. You have to be willing to spend like Ishbia, but you can't meddle in everything. But you also can't be like Dumont and be hands off with the wrong guy running the team. So it's like a tough balance here for owners, and every owner typically seems to have new owner syndrome in one way or the other. Unfortunately, for Chisholm, it's probably going to have to be breaking up some things 3 years from now, considering all the luxury tax and second apron penalties.
Is the fact that he's not owning the team for another few years, does that absolve him from any sort of tampering charges if he just goes and becomes Cooper Flagg's best friend for the next few weeks? Because really, if you're going to be coming in like 3 years, I feel like you want to bring the main kid home, everything you should be investing in as a Boston Celtics owner to be is trying to lure Cooper Flagg to come back home. And that's going to be a tall order. But yeah, I would imagine that any owner in the NBA would love to have Cooper Flagg on their team, but especially so for the Celtics.